Okay, looks like we're live.
Sweet.
Perfect. Okay, today we are talking about probably one of the most important email flows that what would you say, Brad? Probably one of the most forgotten or neglected
Yeah.
sequences next to a welcome sequence, which is like not having one at all. But like, this is kind of the one that I would say helps. I wouldn't say helps retention the most, but definitely drastically improves it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that would be the VIP flow.
hmm Yeah. So I'll start as usual by just defining what it is and walking through the main goal of this. So the VIP flow, it's an email sequence that sends to your top echelon, your top sliver of customers, and we can get into the criteria for what counts as your top customers in a second. But basically, broadly speaking, the goal of it is to reward them, reinforce or like kind of like confer status upon them, like make them feel a sense of status and reward them for their loyalty, while also obviously securing another purchase. So that's the main goal of the VIP flow. Fairly straightforward to understand. There's a lot of ways you can do it, but it's a fairly straightforward thing to understand. So since we defined it, I think we should define what counts as a VIP. So what the original thing I learned, and I still kind of use this as a good guidepost, is their top 10% of revenue, and they've made at least either 2 or 3, depending on your brand, purchases over all time. Because if you think about it, I would not count a VIP. Oh yeah, it should be this flow triggers once they like hit that criteria. So I'll explain that more on that in a second. But you can like I wouldn't like let's say your top 10, like the let's say you're like 1,000 customers, a customer number 100 in terms of order of lifetime value, customer number 100 or customer number 2 in terms of pure revenue, maybe they placed one order ever, but they ordered a ton of stuff. Well, they're not really a VIP because they just found you and then just bought a bunch of stuff right away. But someone who's placed 100 orders for 50 cents each is also not a VIP because they're not very valuable to you. Like, I'm not saying that, just for the sake of argument, right? Like, it's not like there's products that sell for 50 cents online. But someone who has both spent a lot with you, your top few percent, and has spent frequently with you. It's frequency and its amount. Either or, amount is not really a VIP. Frequency with a low, or I should say, amount alone doesn't make you a VIP. Frequency alone doesn't make you VIP. There has to be like a sense of familiarity along with the fact that you've spent a lot of money. So, like I said, top 10%, and at least 2 purchases. Sometimes I would go with at least 3 purchases overall time if it's something especially if it's like a consumable, like food or supplements or something. You probably want to go for more because you want to make sure that it's a consumable product. So they really have to buy multiple times to be one of your VIPs to really be in there. So what happens when to have this flow trigger, basically you have it trigger when someone meets those criteria, when someone meets revenue criteria and number of purchases criteria at the same time. When both of those are met, the flow triggers. I also like to build a VIP segment, and then people, when they meet those criteria, move into that VIP segment too. It's the same criteria. It's nice to have that, as something we can talk about another time, is like having a VIP segment that's useful for other things. But you can either have the VIP flow directly trigger when they meet those 2 criteria, or you can set up the segment and have it just trigger when someone enters the segment. So like both of those functionally do the same thing. They send someone into the VIP sequence, and so they end up going through that, and then they're also in the VIP segment, which is helpful for later. So and one other thing I want to cover, how I, practically speaking, get that number, that top 10%. There's probably software, like I think Retention X, I don't really know about it all that much, but it's an advanced like retention software. It probably tells you this stuff. But what I've done is I've gone into Shopify and just basically exported their entire customer list into a spreadsheet. I go, how many customers do they have total? Let's say they have like 5,000 customers in there. Well, top 10%, I sort by revenue amount in the spreadsheet. Yeah. So it sorts descending this way. And so if there's 5,000 customers, I just go to cut line 501 because the top row is going to be all the labels, the titles of the columns. So row 501, I see what that revenue number is, or lifetime value number is. Let's say it's like $500 or something. Or no, let's say it's like $508.50. Well, in that case, I might just to be a little err on the side of caution, bump that up to like $520. $520 is now our top 10% VIP threshold. That's basically what I do. You just export the spreadsheet, order it by customer lifetime value, and find, the top 1/10 of the list, which is easy. You just do basic math. If it's 5,000 customers, item 500 or 501, you can just approximate. This is really up to you, but that would be the top 10%. So once you do that, you have to do that little bit of wrangling to figure that out. Then you can build a VIP flow because you can set the criteria properly for the trigger, and you can build the segment and all that other stuff. So fairly good overview there. Pete, do you have anything on that?
To be honest, I'm not overly familiar with VIP flows. I don't think I've ever done one. So like architecture wise, like how would you structure one of these, I guess?
So I like to, before I get into the email content or kind of what the emails cover, I like to think of it. So in a VIP flow, you are giving them an incentive. You're usually giving them this is where you would give a discount. One of the few flows you would give a discount or some sort of reward, or maybe it's buy something, get something free, right? You want to give them an offer, but you don't want this to be like 3 days long. You don't want to, you want to give them a deadline, but you don't want the deadline to be so urgent that they don't feel like a VIP anymore. Like you don't want to rush your VIPs, right? Like you want to give some time and be helpful. But I would say like a week to 10 days, like 7 to 10 days is the time frame. So they don't feel a ton of pressure, but there's pressure that like you have to use the incentive. But we're giving you, since you're a VIP, we're giving you all this time to use it. We're gonna, and then the flow helps them find what to use it on, right? So I like to say 7 to 10 days. Some people do just like 3 emails in a VIP flow. I have one that does up to 5, but the structure, let's get into that structure. So like I said, you want some sort of offer to give them, and you can do a discount. Actually, now that I think about it, would not necessarily recommend a discount. Like I said, you maybe send them something free with their next order, or I don't know, some sort of special thing like that. But so at first you want to just like welcome them to VIP status. The first email, you want to welcome them and talk about how great it is, how exclusive it is, blah, blah, blah. And then say, as a reward, we're going to give you whatever we want you to, for the next 10 days or whatever, however you want to word it, like here you're giving them some sort of offer. And then you also want to, kind of like you do with some other flows, you want to reinforce that they're one of the key drivers behind like your brand's ability to do what it does, right? Like if, for example, if you're on a mission to do XYZ, well, your VIPs are a big driver of that because they're the ones who buy so much from you. They're the ones who financially support you so much. And so you want them to, you want to reinforce them being part of something bigger, of supporting some sort of good cause. Of course, if you also like are part of like, not just your mission, but like, like some brands have like a charity that they partner with. And that's part of it too. You can reinforce that, like they are the cause of repeated, like, donations to this charitable initiative, blah, blah, blah. So then you want to prompt them to use the offer, to take advantage of it now. Make sure, give them a deadline. I mean, some people may say, give them a deadline so that the urgency is there from the start. Some people might say, don't give them a deadline, because if they see they have 10 days to spend it, they might wait until the 10th day. And then, you want to get that sooner rather than later. Not a big deal either way, but email 1 is basically introducing them to the thing, reinforcing that they're like a key pillar of the brand, so to speak, and giving them the offer and the details and whatnot. I like an email 2. I like to make that one more asking them, like, what's your favorite thing about the brand? Like, they're a VIP, so their opinion matters even more so than like a one-time buyer, right? These are the people that buy from you repeatedly. Like you say, Pete, like you say, like, don't listen to your readers, listen to your buyers more often. If someone has spent money, their opinion is inherently more, because they've proven that they would put money behind it. In this case, these people put money behind it, a lot of it, multiple times. So what they say matters a lot. So you want to ask them, like, what do they love about the brand? This also keeps them in a positive mood. They're in a positive mood because of the VIP thing, but you also want to ask them, like, hey, what do you love about the brand? What's your favorite thing? This is a great, time to get testimonials from your VIPs. And then you can also ask them for feedback on things that the brand could improve, of course, because again, if the VIPs say it, if there's something that's stopping that concerns them, the big spender, then it's probably concerning other people. And finally, having these pieces of information, kind of like having that VIP segment, provides valuable market research, not just because like, they're buyers. And so if they're telling you stuff, you know what to fix, but these are your top buyers. So the more you know about your top buyers, the easier it is to find more of those top buyers. The type of person that would spend, just $50 with you versus, I don't know, $5,000 or whatever with you. Who do you want more of? Do you want the $50 person or $5,000? You want the $5,000 person. So you have all this information about these people as they go through VIP Flow and provide you this information. Well, whether maybe it's writing Facebook ads or writing ads to better target those kinds of people, or your email messaging can maybe hone in better. You can change your offer, something like that, right? That information is going to be extremely valuable. And then you want to remind them again of their offer and nudge them to go buy. But you do kind of want to make this one, since you have several emails and you're giving them a good amount of time to actually buy. This one you can just like remind them of the offer, but try to get that feedback out of them. And if you can, turn it into a testimonial or a review, that kind of thing. So email 3, if they haven't bought at this point, maybe they need help deciding what to buy next. So I like to do just product recommendations or bundles or something like that. I mean, if it's like a bundle offer, then that's a little different. But try to like guide them towards the next purchase. They are a VIP, so they're more familiar. But what do you do with VIPs? Well, white glove experience, right? You do everything for them. That could include literally like, hey, is this your goal? Get this. Do you want to accomplish this? Get this product, right? So you're and you also want to emphasize that like these are the things that the VIP, like other of our top customers buy. These are the people you're trying to imply that like these are the people who are the most serious about solving these problems, about this kind of thing. This is what they buy. Like appealing to that status again. Like, are you super serious about solving this particular issue? Well, this is the thing you would buy, right? And so that's the point of the product recs one. That one's more direct, like trying to clinch the sale right there. After that, we get 2 more emails in the way I do it. The last 2 start to push the urgency more. Email 4, I guess, would be more of a social proof one, testimonials in there, especially, again, I never pick testimonials just ad hoc. I always have a reason behind them. So in this case, it would be testimonials either about products they haven't tried yet, if that's possible, or maybe lesser known products. It could be something, since they bought your main product a lot, it could be something that's a little lesser known, give them more exposure to lesser known SKUs. It could be just from other longtime customers, kind of like using hey, these are what other people who repeatedly buy from us, this is what they have to say. You want to be like one of them, right? And so that's the point of that right there. And then email 5 is just, hey, last chance for your VIP offer. Yeah. Oh, one thing I forgot, probably in email 1, you want to do this. You can also set expectations for what it means to be a VIP. So if you if you have like a VIP program of some sort, like you actually do, like if your VIPs get access to like early access to sales or something like that, for like there's a real benefit, then you want to emphasize that. But if there's not really a real benefit right away, don't say like you get special early access and extra content if you don't actually give any of that. If you don't give anything, that's fine. Maybe at some point you do want to set up a VIP program, but you can just tell them, hey, you're one of the VIPs, you get this special reward. And then you could even clarify, like in the future, we might, we're building out a VIP program or something like that. But that's kind of the VIP flow. Just in summary, it goes welcome them in and reinforce that what they're doing, financially supporting the brand so much as, what that does, how that's important. Get the feedback from them, what they like and what could be improved. Recommend products, show social proof, and start to drive urgency, and then drive more urgency towards the end. And if there's any other reasons that they may want to buy, again, like if you have products that go out of stock frequently, try to hit on that or whatever it might be. So that's kind of the whole thing in a nutshell.
Okay, that's cool. Do you do a why didn't you act kind of email towards the end, like other sequences, or you don't really find the need on something like this because people did already? Because if they're on VIP, they already bought, right?
Yeah, I mean, you could do kind of like a still interest, are you passing on this kind of email, or towards the end, like you could make email 5 that, or you could do like a why didn't you buy? Of course, you just want to word it so it's like, hey, you're one of our VIPs, we're super grateful, however we want to word it. But we're curious, we gave you this special VIP offer, you didn't take it. Why is that? The information there may not, it may still help. It might not be as helpful in certain contexts as like if you're getting a new customer, or like all these other flows like abandoned checkout, like what stopped you from, at checkout from buying. That's helpful because it helps at that specific point. But a VIP isn't like they reached a stage of the ordering process and then bailed out. And so you're trying to, it's just more like maybe they just literally didn't feel like buying anything at the time. And that could be it. It still could be helpful to ask, but I feel like the information you get won't be as valuable as like, hey, why didn't you complete checkout? Yeah. Why didn't you get this stuff in your cart? Why didn't you take advantage of your welcome discount? These are all things that are like, this is obviously it's a flow. It's based on a trigger, but like the trigger is not arbitrary, but you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's just when they arbitrarily reach a certain level of having spent money, not they reach an actual physical part of the ordering process and fall off. There must be something holding them back. There might not be like anything in particular really holding them back. They might have, they placed an order, they get put in VIP, and now it's just like, maybe they're like, well, I just ordered something. I don't need to order something else. So to get around that though, like, cause that is an issue. Like if someone buys something and then they get put in VIP, they're like, wait, I just bought something and I got to do it again. So what some people like to do is when they reach VIP status, have a time delay of a few days so that even when they get there, they reach the threshold, maybe the flow triggers, they even get put in the segment, but you just have like 3 days where they don't know. They never know. And then 3 days later, suddenly they get that email, which does bring me to another point. You can either surprise, you can have you can make the VIP program like either a complete surprise, like you tell no one about it until someone mysteriously ends up on it. That can work potentially because like people are like, wait, what? VIP program? Whoa, I unlocked this super secret. I don't even, like that could cause some intrigue and cause people to start talking about it. Although again, like if you're a brand that's like, I don't know, getting more out, like more mainstream, like, I don't know, like more mainstream on like social media and you're starting to become really big, that could be something cool. But if you're a really small brand and you just have like a very small niche community and people like someone who buys from you doesn't know anyone else in person who would be interested, talking about that wouldn't be that like, they're going to go there for, oh yeah, I'm a VIP for this little tiny brand that I don't even want to talk to you about anyways, because it's kind of embarrassing or something, you see what I'm saying? Like it could work if your brand's already big to just be like, oh, they have a VIP program that's like super secret. Other brands might just like openly publish it. Like, hey, if you buy a lot, it's kind of like a loyalty program. It's like, if you buy a lot, you become a VIP and then blah, blah, blah. And some people might not like, some people like those people might publish ever. And then there might be some people who are, it's in the middle. Like it's like public that it exists, but they don't really just promote it all that much. And to you personally might be a surprise, but technically they're not hiding anything. It's like somewhere on the website. So in 3 different ways of like doing that. I think with a lot of brands, I did actually lean towards the, like, you don't tell anybody. And then they just one day magically get hit with this email that say, hey, you're a VIP now. Ultimately, like it's kind of majoring in the minors a little bit to determine like which one you want to do. Like in any case, like if you send a VIP sequence to people, I guess the only thing, let me take that back a little bit. I guess the only thing is if the thing is, if you know a VIP program exists, there's that slightly higher chance in theory that you'll be more likely to want to come back and buy more and more and more, just like a loyalty program, if you can earn points, because that if you buy enough, oh yeah, I think that's what I was trying to say. It's you can like publicize like, oh, if you become a VIP, if you spend this much in order, like, I don't know how many people do that, but some people might be like, you become a VIP if you've been with us long enough. That's like somewhere in the middle where you say there's a VIP program, you don't advertise a lot, but just kind of implied that like, if you spend a lot of money, there's not like an exact amount, but where was I going with that? Sorry, I had like 3 or 4 different ideas tangents that I kept jumping on at once, but it was VIP flow. Man, I'm forgetting where I was. I was just making a really good point. What was that? What was I just? VIP flow. Oh yeah, it was. Yeah. So if there's a VIP sequence, there's a customer might come back and buy again and again and again. If you don't, you might not do that. But if it's only discovered that you have a VIP segment or whatever, and you don't tell anybody, then you online might talk, or in person might talk, and other people might be like, wait, what? And since they don't know like if they're going to hit it or not, if it was a fluke, other people might just like buy out of the thrill of, is this the purchase that gets me to the VIP program, or something like that. So that's possible too. But the main advantage of like disclosing that you have one in the first place would be that people would want to, it's like the exclusivity is known. People want to aim for that. They want to be part of the VIP club, and they know if they spend a certain amount, they'll get there. So That's not entirely relevant just to VIP sequences. That's more like creating a whole VIP segment in general. But it is important to note, like I said earlier, that you may want to, when someone reaches VIP status, set a time delay of a few days so that even when the flow triggers, the first email doesn't fire for a few days. So it's, especially because there's also the fact that you also have to consider like, post purchases and things like that. If you have a post purchase flow, if you have a branch that's for like people who've bought 3 times or more overall time, well, if they're getting that, or if they just bought and they get an order confirmation and then a VIP email, hey, you just got in, now buy again. That could be good if they're in the purchase mindset and it's like, hey, you just bought, now you're getting this sick offer, buy again.
Yeah.
Maybe they take that, but you might also just you may want to give it a couple days as well, so it also doesn't feel like immediate. It feels like they don't know exactly when it happened. Like it just seems like they bought Monday and it's only Wednesday. It's like, congrats, you're at VIP, and it's like, wait, what? When did this happen? Like it becomes more like a surprise. It's more exciting if you do it that way. But on the topic of post purchase flows, you may want to, if someone reaches VIP status, you may want to find a way to just like screen them out of the post purchase flow branch so they get the VIP one instead, obviously. So you'd have to consider that. Just like with any flows, you got to make sure that people aren't like getting overwhelmed with different flows and different messaging. You want to make sure that anyone in a flow is in that flow only, and anyone who's not in a flow, or anyone who's in a flow, does not get any broadcast messages until they're out of it, barring certain circumstances. So, yeah, that's those are some other random thoughts I think or other important random thoughts, important pieces of information on VIP flows. Yeah, I don't know. You said you haven't really done these much.
No, but I would say, on the topic of telling people if there's a VIP or not, I would get the 2 best examples I have of this aren't necessarily VIP, but where I feel like I'm being treated like a VIP.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 people who do that well are Ben Settle and Daniel Throssell. I'm a paid subscriber to both of their paid subscriptions, their newsletters. So Email Players and Adventures in Copyland for Daniel Throssell. And what they'll do is they'll mention the special benefits. So, for example, if Ben will write an entire email saying, hey, Email Player subscriber asked this question, and then he gives an in-depth answer in the email, but withholds a little bit of information, mentions how he gives the full in-depth answer only to Email Player subscribers. Or also when he's doing a special promotion, because what he does is he sends you the monthly newsletter, but then there's also a ride-along sales letter for his monthly promotion for what he's going to be promoting that month hard, with a bigger promotion code than you would get if you were a non-Email Player subscriber. So, and then he'll also mention that in his email saying, like, don't be dumb and buy this if you're an Email Players subscriber. I already sent you a bigger promo code, so that people feel left out by not being part of the in crowd. And Daniel Throssell does something similar because he always has a special bonus on his in his newsletter every month too, where there's special bonus you get, and then it's only for that 1 month if you take advantage of it, and if not, then it's even more money. And then he'll always share special insights that people kind of share with him in his emails later on, saying that it was from Adventures in Copyland. So, in a way, teasing the VIP treatment to people who are non-VIP makes them feel like VIP. And you also mentioned something in the beginning there, how in the first email you mentioned, like, I forget the way you worded it, but you're giving people an identity to live up to. So you're part of the VIP. Here's how we treat our VIP. And then maybe even subtly you can mention how your VIP acts, so that those people then start acting that way. You can be very subtle about that, right? A little bit of indoctrination in that way, if you want to call it. That way I hate to use the word training, but training people to behave appropriately within your business too, right? And then the other thing you mentioned, doing the sequence over 7 to 10 days. I think you mentioned 3 to 5 emails. So what it sounds to me, are you doing like a DK, or are you sending a little bit of emails more so front loading and then spreading them out towards the end?
I would say like be like evenly spread out, honestly. Just like have like 10 days of 5 emails. So you could do like every 2 days, or you could do like, I would say you want emails closer together towards the end. If you're going to like bunch up any parts of the sequence or of the flow, yeah, you'd probably want the ones closer to the end to be a little, or yeah, closer together. Especially since my email too is like what do you like most about our brand? It could be like one day after the previous email, but I usually like to, I mean, generally just like spread out like the first three maybe evenly. So like 2, 4, 6. And you can do 7 to 10 days, but like the last two, you could give it a little bit of breathing space, like a couple days, and then days 9 and 10 can be the last emails. But I mean, I usually just space them out fairly evenly, just because like there's nothing wrong with hitting someone every day with an email, but I feel like if you space out some of the emails within the VIP flow, it makes it feel just a little more VIP-ish, like you're kind of guiding them around rather than like pressuring them to buy something. Although you are, you're trying to sell them, but it feels a little more VIP that way. That's why I say up to 10 days. But you can do 3 emails, you can do 5 emails over 7 days. I don't think it's a huge deal. What matters most though is just making sure that like it feels like, yes, they're part of an exclusive thing, and you're trying to get them to make that next sale, but with a special, or make that next purchase, but with special offer, and also get some feedback from them. So I don't think the spacing for it matters as much, especially again, they're like, the super engaged customers. They're the types of people or there's a good amount of overlap with them and the types of people who are reading most of your emails, regardless of the subject line, right? Like if they've bought this many times, there's a higher chance that like, some extra sends they're not going to care all that much. So, I will say on the top of info products would be a little different. It's funny. I'm working on a price increase campaign for an info product, for a brand that does info products and physical products, but this is an info product, and I have to adapt my perfect price hike formula, which was designed primarily with physical product e-commerce in mind. I'm currently trying to adapt that framework to a digital product where the reasons for prices rising are totally different, and the other logistical things are totally different.
Yeah, of course.
Same thing here, like thinking of how to adapt a flow that's more common in e-com, where it's like you can purchase multiple things and purchase them over and over. With info products, this would work best if you could probably modify this. Like if you have like a paid online recurring thing and you're one of like the longest, maybe you're like one of the longest running people, you could look in your database. Like I think of Chris Orzakowski's Make It Rain Monthly. That's been going for, I don't know how many years now. I think I was one of the first people on it. So like if he wanted to, he could like pop into his database and see like who's been a customer and for how long, what their purchases are, and be like, oh, well, Make It Rain Monthly VIP or something like that. Or again, with Chris, he has a bazillion products. So like someone with him, it's like if someone has spent at least X amount of money and placed X, Y number of orders, for him, he could have VIPs as well. Or, whales, I guess, is another way of putting them. That they're kind of a similar topic. That top slice of people that spend the most with you, and you want more of them. Again, with info products, it'd be the same thing. If you only sell one info product, it's not really going to work. You're not because they buy it once and they have it forever. So like everyone who sells that everyone's gonna have the same LTV essentially. So, and a lot of times for info products as well, I should say, especially for people like me, it's like the info products aren't even, my first offer was literally like copywriting, like doing copywriting for people. So it's harder until you have multiple products. It's harder to like really do a VIP flow because your VIPs are literally your clients. If you think about it, right? Like they are paying the most in many cases, frequently. If it's like a retainer, they've paid you $3,000 a month for 6 months, well, they are almost by definition a VIP because you're lending your actual time and done for you expertise to them. So it doesn't translate as well to like a copywriter or something. But like I guess if you like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of like, maybe if you're an author, who has like a bunch of books and you sell them all as ebooks, it's like, but again, you have physical product versions of them, right? So even if you had only digital versions, though, again, it's like I can't think of the word. It's like not mass market, but like like something that it's not a it's like one type of product. Like for that, again, like if you have a bunch of different like ebooks or swipe files or guides or whatever, and you sell a bunch of different of them. But in that case, see what I mean? It's starting to mimic a little more of like physical product e-commerce where you have multiple products. You can buy things multiple times. There's not really a way to buy info products multiple times. Now,
Yeah.
if you maybe sell coaching calls or, you charge $100 for like a call and someone buys like 20 of those, but that's not very likely. Usually people buy like, and unless it's a continuity offer where someone is paying monthly and they get access to you via coaching calls as part of that. So
Yeah.
products overall, what I'm trying to say is that it does not translate as well as far as I know. I've never had to make a VIP sequence for info product only companies because it doesn't, the way it works, it just doesn't translate as well. But
No, it doesn't.
It could if you did have, like I did know of a writer who she had a bunch of different like template or like swipe template kind of packs. So she had like 8 different kinds, and then she had a few where like she combined 2 of them together into like a bundle and double the price, then knocks some off. So like bundle pricing. And so in that case, it might work because it's like if you have 8 products and someone's bought like several of them and spent a certain amount of money. But even then, again, like it doesn't work as well as it does for physical product e-commerce. But again, if you want to get creative, just if you use, whether you are a copywriter / marketer or you are running your own business, if you just like, you think about it, you use a little bit of creativity and you put yourself like, you just like think about like, what would like my top dream kind of customers and clients be like? Well, those people who've spent a lot of money with you, those people would probably be your VIPs, I guess. It like I said, like 3 times, it just doesn't translate super cleanly to info products. It's definitely a sequence that's best for physical products or businesses that have, like one of the ones I'm now working with that has physical and digital. It's going to work obviously for both because the digital, if you have digital only, it doesn't really work. If you have physical only, it works. If you have physical and digital together, someone could buy the digital as one of their purchases and buy 5 of the physical as the others, and it all just counts as purchases because the existence of the physical products makes the whole VIP flow model work, if that makes sense. So, I think that's my word on that.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I did one other thing because I learned this sequence a long time ago, or I learned the idea of it from Chris Orzechowski actually as well, like many years ago in one of his Make It Rain monthlies. I developed my own version of this, obviously, with a little bit of inspiration from his. But one of the things I like about what he did is some people don't like this kind of way of doing things. I don't know why. I think it's funny. But he has like a, hey, I was just looking at my system and, or no, it's like, hey, so-and-so from the marketing department just kicked down my door and shouted, holy crap, you got to look at our software. And then I checked and wow, insert first name here being the reader is officially VIP status, I just checked like the factory or the warehouse floor, and it looks like they're building a statue to you out, like you tell like a obviously fake, really funny story. That's a
little satire.
Yeah. Chris Richard. I actually saw someone once complain that they said, doing those stories, that's really stupid and dumb and you shouldn't do that. And like, why are you lying to people, blah, blah, blah. And I sat there and I'm like, does this person just hate fun? Like, obviously an adult on my email list can tell that like, like I have just to get off topic a little bit, I have one of my 20 email swipe vault emails actually is email I wrote for a supplement brand, and they were running a sale that was like, it was like 3 bottles or 3 of any supplement and mix and match whatever for $99 or something. And I wrote a little funny story that like, it's like, oh, my accountant asked me about some financials and our recent sales recently. So I told them this. We're also doing a sale where we do like 3 bottles for $99. And then, the rest of the story was like the accountant, like jaw dropped, his eyes bulged out of his head. He's like, you what? Like that Plankton from SpongeBob saying, you what? That kind of thing. And basically, obviously this didn't happen. I made it up. But like the customer like knows that, like he didn't sit down with his accountant and have his accountant sit there and be like, what? You're running this sale. You're going to put us out of business. Like it's plausible. Like something like that could happen. Like it's not like I'm making up that he like jumped out the window.
It's entertaining.
But it's entertaining, right? It's obviously
like you making people smile. Like that's
you're not someone into, like, I'm not saying that the accountant took took our weight loss supplement and lost 20 pounds by the next week. Like that would be different because now I'm telling a story that's false and making like ridiculous claims about the product that are impossible. I'm literally just saying like, I'm trying to make the point that the sale is such a ridiculous value, right? That the accountant is, freaking out. Obviously, but it's fun, and anyone who has like a sense of humor would at least like be like, hey, that's funny, even if it's, they might say it's cringe or something, but they're not like, I'm not trying to deceive you into buying something that's like, I'm not trying to tell you that the product does something that it doesn't or whatever. I'm just, it's a fun story. So if you want, again, it depends on your brand voice and your VIP sequence. You can get a little fun with that if you want to and talk about how like we're building like a statue to your honor in the office or, something like that. You can get a little fun. You can get a little fun with a lot of the flows if you want to add some personality in there. It's as long as you're not crossing ethical line, you're not like making medical claims or claiming that your product can do, all regulatory and ethical stuff, follow all that, but you can get a little fun with these things. There's nothing wrong with making your readers laugh. Often making them laugh eventually translates into money. So
yeah, like I would say the emails that I've had the most fun writing, cracked myself up. Yes, I do laugh at my own jokes. Those are the emails that always get the best engagement, like literally 20 replies within like a few hours at times, right? Because, well, first off, like if you're writing emails, you need to kind of make it fun for yourself. Otherwise, you are not going to enjoy doing it. Like, let's say you're the business owner, whatever brand you're doing, and you're writing your own emails. Okay, like if you're not having fun doing it, you're probably not going to stay doing it for very long. And then also, if you're just a writer writing for a brand, energy is transferable, even through words, right? Like people could feel it on the other side. Like if you're writing like a sob story of something that you've been through and you're tearing up writing it, people are going to freaking feel that on the other side, right? So, like, even if it is just entertainment value, trying to get people to laugh, if you're adding something to somebody's day, they'll look like, not trying to sound cheesy here and saying, oh, people are going to be like sitting at their cell phone waiting for your email to come in, but they're not going to be pissed off seeing an email from you because they know it's not a waste of time. Because, like, even if they're not going to buy anything, at least it doesn't feel like a waste of time because you made them smile, you made them cringe, you made them laugh, whatever, right? The whole point of doing copywriting right in any way is eliciting emotions, like even pissing that lady off, the Karen who had to make a comment, right? Like as long as you're pissing at least one person off a day, you're probably doing something right. Because if you're pissing the wrong people off, you're probably making the right people happy most of the time.
Yeah. It's all true. So, I mean, I think that fairly comprehensively covers the VIP flow. I'm going to run through just one more time what it is, what the emails are supposed to accomplish in there, especially since we had some people join since I did that. So I'll do that one more time before we close out here. So just to recap, it's the VIP sequence is rewarding your top 10%. Some people like do top 5%. I forgot to mention at the beginning. Some people like to, make it more narrow, or narrower, I guess is the right word. That's up to you, but top 5% of people by lifetime value and made at least 2 purchases. Some people like to go with at least 3 purchases, depending on your price point. Overall time. So there's a monetary amount and a number of purchases amount that both must be meant to screen out people who have just paid a bunch of money once, or people who have bought 100 times but buy like little tiny things or something like that, right? And so rewards them, makes them feel a sense of exclusivity and status and achievement, like they're part of an exclusive club, and reinforces that they're a key pillar of the brand's mission and what the brand is accomplishing. The brand couldn't do it without them, that kind of stuff. So the first email kind of accomplishes what I just said there, congratulating them, making them feel that exclusivity, giving them their VIP offer, because you do want to give them an offer to use by the end of the flow, and emphasize that they're the ones making this possible, because they're the one that's so involved in financially supporting the brand, right? Then you want to try to get feedback from them on what they like and what they don't like about the brand. That's valuable feedback from VIPs. So you want to get that. And if possible, sometimes those can turn, like if there's a piece of feedback that they give, it always opens up chances for conversations. You want to encourage replies, because remember deliverability. and that would be email 2. Then help them make the purchase, giving them product recommendations or bundle or something like that. Just basically guide them towards the purchase, try to show them what other VIPs, quote unquote, buy. Then give them some social proof, guarantees that they're, at this point, they're probably aware of the guarantees. It never hurts to reinforce those, and some urgency, and then drive urgency at the very end. So that's kind of what it's doing over those 5 emails. You want it to run for around 7 to 10 days, generally speaking. And if you want, you can stick a 6th email in there that's like, hey, why didn't you use your VIP offer? But the language will probably sound a little bit different than other types of why didn't you buy, because you're not just going to be like, hey, I noticed you abandoned at checkout, but you're going to be like, hey, you're one of our VIPs. We're super grateful to have you. We're so glad that you blah, 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 blah. But hey, we're just curious. We gave you this offer for entering VIP status, and you didn't actually use it. We're just curious if there's any reason for that. A little more, even more like personable and warmer and more detailed than like other ones might be. And one other idea I just had is, if you want, at that point, you can extend, like if they like are like, oh shoot, I didn't know, or I couldn't decide or whatever, since they're a VIP, you could say, hey, one time only, I'm going to give you 2 more days with this offer. And then, let us know if you need help picking the next product. So like, normally you don't want to just grant blanket like extensions to everybody, like in an abandoned checkout flow, or like, some place where maybe there's a discount or like a promotion. But in your VIP flow, that is one of the places where it's like, you know what? Because you weren't sure, you're a VIP though, we want to give you some extra time. So we'll give you 2 more days. Just let us know what you want, or let us know if you need help finding what you're looking for, and we'll help you pick a product or something like that. So you could even do that at the end. VIP flows, you want to treat your VIPs well. So yeah. Other than that though, I think we've covered VIP sequences, VIP flows fairly comprehensively.
Yeah, the only thing I'd like to add, it's a little bit of an idea, even for yourself. Forget where I heard it from, but it was a new way to run challenge funnels. So challenge funnels have kind of been pretty big for a while. They've kind of died off in recent years, but this one marketer figured out a way to run one and actually increase the consumption higher than they were even to begin with, which was he would run ads, people would opt in, or actually purchase the challenge. I think it was like $5 for 5 days, the challenge. But the way he would incentivize the consumption is a disappearing bonus if you don't consume. So like over the 5 days, if you consumed all the lessons or whatever and did whatever the work was, you still got to keep the 5-day challenge product, even if you didn't do the consumption, because the issue is people buy things and don't consume it. How can we incentivize them to actually use it? Mm-hmm. So they incentivize with a disappearing bonus with a deadline, right? You could probably essentially do the same thing, probably with your promo code within your VIP. Is like, here's your VIP promo code, which you will have always, but if you use it before this deadline, here's a bonus for taking action, right? That way people don't feel like they missed out, because like, oh, I'm part of the VIP, but I just bought, so I don't really feel like buying right now. But there's a bonus that if they do take action, then they get to keep it too, right? Just a thought. I figured I'd throw that out there. But yeah,
actually, I like that idea, because it does help actually build on the whole discount only thing. Because again, if you're going to give a discount to anyone, you want to give it to your VIPs. That way
and they have it all the time, right?
Yeah, you haven't trained your broad customer base to do it. You haven't trained your broad customer base for discounts. So by the time they get to VIP, a discount doesn't seem like they're waiting for a discount, right? But then they get it it actually feels like a reward, but they get it always because they're a VIP. But if they use it during that flow, they also get like you said, your disappearing bonus. And so that's actually a good structure as well, because it allows you to use the discount. It's like a proper use of discount while also building in something else that drives more urgency. So that's not a bad idea. I also would say, there's probably other ways to enhance the VIP flow or build on it. Or I just had an idea pop into my head where every day you have a different offer of some sort. I don't know how that would work. It's just an idea that struck me while you were talking about the disappearing offer thing. But what we covered here mainly is I don't want to say 80-20, the 70-30, what we covered here is the basics of a VIP flow and making sure it's crafted right to really feel like a VIP experience. Since, as I've begun to start to say, email marketing should not just be email marketing; it should be an experience or part of a grander experience.
Yeah.
The whole purchase, the whole interaction with the brand should be a whole experience. So, as long as you can make the VIP flow have those elements we discussed, then you're 70% of the way there. And from there, you can okay, do you want to try discount with a disappearing offer? Do you want to try some other unique things in the VIP flow, or just for your VIPs in general? There's always room to do that kind of thing. And since they're your VIPs, it's probably easier to communicate with them directly, have your VIP segment and say again, you could say what would you guys like to see more of, or we're just there's I'm not going to elaborate every last thing you can do with VIPs right here. You think about it, there are plenty of things you can do, but yeah, I mean, as long as you're welcoming them in, giving them a special offer, making them feel exclusive, and treating them like a VIP, you're going to get valuable information about your VIPs. You're going to get some extra sales, strong customer loyalty, and depending on how you structure the program, you're going to get more people potentially placing orders, trying to reach that VIP status. So, yeah, I mean, it's a great email sequence, particularly for e-commerce. There's probably ways to do it for info products as well, but with a little bit of adaptation. But if you are or work with e-com brands, you really should be implementing this sequence once you've got the core ones down.
Yeah, man.
Cool. Anything else? Or do you think we've covered it?
Oh, I'm out of ideas. So
yeah, me too. I just like to go until we've covered everything that I can even possibly think of. I don't want to try to fluff it out any longer if there's nothing to talk about. So that about covers VIP flows. Thanks for joining, guys.
All right. Thanks, guys. See you next time.
Yep. See y'all.
All right. See you, dude.
Yeah.